If you want to replicate movement just like this,
There you go.
I don't know about that.
But if that was me, that guy.
oh my god. Oh my god. I'm going to go through some of the simple stuff like the settings and side canceling, but I want to mostly focus on some of the more advanced stuff, maybe what's going through my mind and how I'm doing certain things in the game. Because I feel like most of us at this point have been playing this game for 3-4 years now. I mean, since 2020, a lot of us have been in here just grinding away. But before I start yapping so much that y'all click away, let me get into the settings. Obviously, if you guys don't already know, I do play on controller. I'm using the Scuff and Vision Pro, and if you guys want to see the settings for that, I'll try and remember to leave a link for it over here or down in the description. I use a control freak on my right stick for aiming, but I don't do anything on my left stick. This controller has 6 buttons on it, 1 on each of these sides, and then 2 paddles on each side as well. You're probably not going to want to copy my settings as far as the button layout and stuff goes, but I am going to hit some of the key settings you need for your movement to be better. As you guys can see down below the controller, you can see I use RB to reload and interact, LB for my lethal, and then it says X for my tactical, which would be my stim, but for me, that's a back button. I don't use controller vibration, and these are my dead zones. Now, as far as sensitivity goes, you want to find something you're going to be more comfortable with. I do find anything below 8.8, 10.10 can be a little bit too slow for interacting with things around you, rather closing doors or reacting to a guy coming around a corner faster. I think almost everybody uses dynamic for the aim response, but I have seen some people using linear. It might be something you want to try. It's definitely something I haven't had any experience with recently, at least. I use custom sensitivity so I can have a different sensitivity for my iron sights and my sniper scopes. That way I can have a more smooth transition between the two. Obviously, I use aim assist and I use default at that. Now, getting into the more movement sensitive settings, we're going to go ahead and talk about tactical sprint. You're going to want to put this on automatic tactical sprint so that whenever you're moving your left stick forward, you are also going to be sprinting. Slide maintain sprint is something you may or may not want to mess around with. I turned it off because I found I was getting some dead slides with it. Turning it off sort of fixed it, but I still get plenty of dead sides. Now, I use one of my side buttons to sprint just to help me get up faster, even though I use automatic tactical sprint. If you're laying on the ground, you can press your sprint button and get up faster off the ground if you didn't already know that. But I feel like one of the most important things to have is single tap sprint on here. And now a super controversial setting, grounded mantle. I have plenty of friends that absolutely hate this setting because whenever you're moving backwards or you're next to an object that you could mantle, if you slide cancel while you're next to that, you are going to mantle that. And you will backwards mantle over a lot of things automatically in a way. But you can do one thing to counter this, and instead of pressing your jump button to stop your slide, you press your sprint button. You will not mantle if you're near things. It's something that's very tough to get used to, but if you do want to put the effort in and become a better player, the mantle speed is absolutely insane with this setting on. The next thing I want to talk about is diving, and it's only going to come more important when we go into the next game with the Omni movement. I saw a lot of diving in any direction, shooting while diving, all sorts of crazy stuff, so it's something that you're going to want to get used to doing. I'm not sure if they're going to keep a setting like this in the game or what's going to happen. Nobody really knows yet. If you choose to use this hybrid setting, the way you dive is to press your left stick in and or your sprint button while you hit your slide button, and you'll dive instead of slide. So left stick and then slide. Sprinting door bash is another setting you're going to want to make sure you have on, because if you don't have it on, you're not going to be able to do the crazy door plays like this.
Bro, these kids are fucking insane.
Shit on that kid bad.
He just picked up his boys.
Bro, these guys are getting worked so bad. A couple of other key settings I want to make sure you guys have right is this prioritize, interact, and apply all. Now I'm going to go ahead and get into some of the more basic movement techniques. The first being slide canceling. Super simple. All you do is press your slide button and then jump button. For a lot of you guys, that might be A and then B, or one of your back paddles and then the other back paddle. If you do have paddles, I do recommend, even if you only have 2, put jump and slide on those paddles because it's going to be the most beneficial thing for you in this game. One of the good things about it being an easy technique is that it's also one of the best ways to break someone's camera. I'll throw some examples in here for you right now. Let me go. Woo. Now, the other super simple movement technique I want to show you guys today is bunny hopping. It's not super strong in this game, and it's not even really there, to be honest with you. But with some of the super fast movement speed builds I'll throw at the end of this video, I feel like it's still sort of in the game, and I'll show you a clip of it right here. But all you're going to do this is as soon as your feet hit the ground, you're going to press the jump button again a second time, maybe even a third if you can get a good hop on it. The only other movement technique I do want to say something about is the jump shots. If you jump around a corner, which isn't specifically a technique, so I didn't want to put it in its own spot or anything, but if you chain these three things together, you can really get it moving and grooving just like this. Now, getting into some of the more advanced movement techniques, I want to talk about the double camera break. Let's take these two bozos, for example. Once you break their camera, in this case, I use the slide cancel, you're going to go back past their screen going the other way, even while shooting sometimes, especially if you hip fire while doing it, you can get some insane movement speed. Doing this will also allow you to take less damage, making it easier to 1v2, 1v3, 1v4, whatever situation you're in. Talking about 1v4 situations, if you guys don't get an opening down before you get into these fights, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Pushing off a down lets you catch another player, possibly rezzing. One thing that can really help your movement in these situations too is having something to move around. Having this door behind me to my right makes it super easy for me to break the line of sight on any teammates with this guy. Also giving me a door to play on. Playing doorways like this can be super effective for breaking cameras, for breaking lines of sight, and just genuinely getting you out of situations that you normally wouldn't. I slam doors on people while plating all the time. Any of the littlest bits of cover you can use sort of help guide the way you move through the room. Far too often do I see people trying to do movement when I feel like it's more of like a flow thing through the room, through the fight. And if you're one of those people that feels like you have decent movement, but you can't figure out why you're not 1v4ing these people like the streamers are, this might be one of the main reasons. You're not flowing through the room. Here I do something called following the back, and this is something that'll work even on good players, but you need to use a fast movement speed SMG like the superior build I'm going to give you here in just 1 second. As soon as I down this guy, you notice that I anticipate a teammate by breaking through the doors, then using the sound of his footsteps to decide exactly when to chow to break his camera. I want to go back a second and talk about one thing real quick. As you see him sliding at me, you see how I un-ADS to open up my hip fire? That's something you're going to see a lot of really good players doing, and something I'd recommend whenever somebody's sliding towards you or all the way up in your grill. Back up with your hip fire. This can help you put down a couple of the movement demons that you've been running into in your lobbies too. As promised, I got you guys with the superior class setup that you definitely need. This is going to be the max movement speed one that I use if I don't want to use a sight at the moment, because the irons on this weapon are actually pretty good. I do like it a lot. But if you do want to put a sight on it, what I would do is rather remove the DR6 hand stop and go ahead and put on your favorite sight. Me, for the slate reflector, for some reason, just hits on this weapon. It reminds me of the Blixen, like I said. But if you don't want to lose any movement speed while putting the sight on there, you can go ahead and take off the Zen 35 and go ahead and drop the put the DR6 back on. If you want a Car 98 build, this is the one that I'd definitely recommend trying. The bayonet muzzle surprisingly adds a ton of movement speed to the weapon. Before you guys drop into a game of Rebirth and go work on your movement, let me know down below what you guys are struggling the most with, you think. And if this was the least bit helpful, I'd appreciate it if you drop a sub. We're on our way to 800 already. I can't believe I'm even saying that, to be honest with you. It's like we were just at 500 like a month ago or something like that. It's going so fast. I don't even know what to say, but thank you to all the new subscribers, everybody who's new around here. My name is Travis, if you don't already know, and I want you to get some good sleep tonight. Peace. They're literally sitting in the same spot still, brother. What is the point of that?